Gianni Infantino state of play as 211 nations decide FIFA president's fate. Bribery, a boycott and a groveling apology. Just an ordinary week in the life of Gianni Infantino. The FIFA president may have backed down on his controversial plan to sell off the World Cup, but he remains in his position. After all, Infantino was in charge of the greatest World Cup of all time, and the greatest human, social, and cultural event that mankind has ever witnessed and seen.
Looking for a premium phone without the premium price? This renewed, unlocked iPhone 14 offers 128 gigabytes of storage, a sharp 6.1-inch display, and 5G capability for around $299. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/6 right now.
Still, UEFA are planning to boycott FIFA competitions after its 55 members unanimously voted to do so, firmly opposing Infantino's plan that would have seen private investors buy the World Cup and other tournaments. Outside of Europe, though, it's a different story. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, gave its backing to Infantino on Thursday, a rare boost to the under-fire Swiss chief. However, it'll be the 211 individual nations who will vote to decide Infantino's future if or when he goes up for re-election in March 2027, not the federations. Let's break down who's for backing and who's for sacking Infantino. Starting with Infantino's most powerful opposition, the European football governing body isn't letting up on their stance. There have been tensions between the two organizations for years, while UEFA President Alexander Ceferin even boycotted last month's World Cup final, despite a European nation, Spain, being involved. On Thursday, UEFA announced that its boycott still stands in a strong-worded statement. And as of now, all 55 nations are unlikely to vote for Infantino regardless of their previous support. UEFA's associations were very clear about the conditions attached to the non-participation in FIFA competitions, the statement read. First, the proposals to sell off the major competitions had to be withdrawn, and secondly, assurances have to be made that such attempts to disfigure the game in this way will never be made again. These conditions have not been met. In addition, UEFA made it abundantly clear in its statement on Saturday that it has lost confidence in Gianni Infantino's presidency. Yesterday's Wednesday announcement that some people employed by the FIFA president and whose careers depend on his favor agree with him changes nothing. England's Football Association has already withdrawn its support for Infantino's re-election. It joined the FAs of Wales, Serbia, Sweden, and Finland in publicly going against him. Should Gianni Infantino be allowed to continue? Have your say in the comments section. With 46 associations, the Asian Football Confederation boasts the third-largest contingent of countries within FIFA. It joined UEFA in criticizing Infantino's plan, having previously been in support of the 56-year-old and pledging to vote for him next year. However, AFC President Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa wrote in a letter to its members. The AFC notes with great concern and disappointment that it was not consulted by FIFA at any level prior to the public announcement of this proposal, and nor has it received any detailed governance, financial, or legal analysis of the proposal and its potential repercussions, which is totally unacceptable. Furthermore, the AFC is deeply concerned that FIFA's unilateral actions appear to undermine the very foundations of continental football, which are based on solidarity, cooperation, and transparency. Moreover, such an initiative will not succeed without the support of all the confederations, which is not the case now. Now that the plan has been scrapped, though, could Infantino rekindle his support from Asia? The Jordan FA certainly won't be voting for him. Its president, Prince Ali bin Al Hussein, accused FIFA of bribery this week before belatedly receiving funds that should have been available 8 months ago. However, Prince Ali and Jordan's stance on Infantino remains, saying, "While this is a good development for our players, it does not change the serious concerns we in the football world have regarding the FIFA leadership, nor does it change what our FAs have been subjected to in the past." It is symptomatic of those exact difficulties that we all face, and that are usually linked to the FIFA presidential elections. And it does not change my clear position concerning the leadership of FIFA. My FA and I will not endorse President Infantino, nor will we vote for him. Within CONCACAF, the confederation which represents North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, there's already division. CONCACAF declared a loss of confidence in Infantino last week by saying that it was deeply concerned by the lack of due process regarding the sell-off plan, calling for a comprehensive reckoning over FIFA's leadership. However, 2026 World Cup co-hosts Mexico appear to have broken rank and has thrown its support behind Infantino. In a statement, the Mexican Football Federation, FMF, declared, "The Mexican Football Federation is convinced that football is its fundamental value and that its best defense lies in institutional integrity and respect for the governance and processes that safeguard it," the FMF said. Therefore, the FMF will not recognize or approve any process convened outside of this institutional framework, and it embraces the call issued by President Infantino on August 5, 2026, to collectively continue developing football for the benefit of its 211 member associations. The FMF supports President Infantino's leadership in continuing to promote the development of football through institutional strengthening. Prior to Infantino's climb-down, it was reported that CONCACAF's 41 members were considering withdrawing their letters of support for his re-election. Could Mexico's stance be a catalyst for support? It's important to remember that despite the widespread backlash, Infantino still has friends dotted around the world. Africa will be a key player in next year's election, and he can seemingly count on a huge 54 votes from the continent. CAF President Patrice Motsepe stated on Thursday that the federation welcomed FIFA's apology and will back Infantino. "For us in Africa, adherence to governance, due process and transparency is crucial and non-negotiable," Motsepe added. "We are committed to continue working together with FIFA, its member associations, other football confederations and stakeholders to safeguard and adhere to governance, due process and transparency." Motsepe previously affirmed, "I personally support Gianni Infantino. He's not just a good friend, he's a loyal friend. I come from a background where when people have been loyal to you, you never stab them in the back." With 10 members, the Confederation for South American Football is the smallest by number, although it boasts some of the most prestigious nations in the sport. And in good news for Infantino, CONMEBOL released a statement on Thursday confirming that it won't back a vote to oust him, although it was hardly a glowing endorsement. It read, "Football belongs to everyone. Its future can only be built on the basis of respect for institutional governance, sound governance, and the democratic procedures that represent FIFA's 211 member associations." On 18 November 2026, the deadline for submitting candidacies for the FIFA presidency will expire. Thereafter, the FIFA Congress will elect, through the votes of its 211 member associations, the person who will lead the organization during the next term, including overseeing the organization of the FIFA Centennial World Cup 2030. Accordingly, CONMEBOL will not support any action or procedure that disregards or departs from those institutional mechanisms. The CONMEBOL Council calls for preserving the unity of the football family, acting with institutional responsibility, strengthening dialogue, and fully respecting the mechanisms of governance. Because, above all differences, football comes first. It's important to note that 3 CONMEBOL nations, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay, are co-hosting the 2030 World Cup, staging one game each before the tournament moves to its primary hosts: Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Argentina have also offered Infantino their backing in a lengthy statement. "Of our highest consideration, on behalf of the Argentine Football Association, AFA, and its executive committee, we address you, dear President, and through your worthy intermediary, the FIFA Board, to express our support for the management carried out during the last 10 years. which had as its main axes the development of football throughout the world and institutional solidity based on a clear governance model, stable and transparent. It began. In this sense, in relation to the recent events that are public knowledge, we must recognize the decision of the administration to withdraw a project that generated, within the football family, and from its inception, many more uncertainties than certainties. That is why it is worth highlighting the acceptance of the errors made in this process, and the apology expressed in the heartfelt message displayed to the 211 member associations of FIFA. Prioritizing governance standards is a fundamental pillar for strengthening good relations between FIFA, its member associations, and the confederations. In the same way, and as we have already expressed, you are leading a management that led to a profound transformation of FIFA, which opened the doors of the organization to all member associations and confederations, so that with a frank and direct dialogue, we can, together, continue to promote football at all levels and disciplines. From our point of view, this transformation was based on a model of transparent governance, respect for statutory structures, and the monitoring of democratic procedures, essential principles for the football family to be united, firm, and working to continue generating improvements in sports and institutions, which have an impact on a better quality of life for millions of human beings who practice our beloved sport. Accordingly, with the upcoming FIFA Congress approaching, the association that I proudly preside over firmly believes and reaffirms that the way forward is to continue to work under your leadership, so that we can continue to develop better and even more inclusive football. The Oceania Football Confederation, OFC, will hold talks to decide its position on Wednesday, August 12. As revealed by GB News, the meeting will involve the 11 members who came up the OFC New Zealand, American Samoa, the Cook Islands, Fiji, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tahiti, Tonga, and Vanuatu. New Zealand football boss Andrew Pragnell called for unity among the OFC earlier this week. There's obviously more power in numbers. Certainly, it helps when a confederation acts in unison, Pragnell told Reuters after praising FIFA for its commercial efforts while reiterating that governance is governance. You've seen in some confederations, even in the last week, members go different ways from other members. At the end of the day, the independence of each member association is respected as well. Gianni Infantino is going nowhere, at least for now. While countries and federations consider their positions, UEFA still have another card to play in what it believes is the fight to save football, a vote of no confidence. That can be triggered via an extraordinary Congress at any time, potentially ousting Infantino before his re-election bid. And of course there is the nuclear outcome, UEFA delivering on their promise to boycott FIFA tournaments. Should that happen, it is unfathomable that Infantino can continue, even until next year's elections. A more realistic outcome, though, would be an alternative candidate emerging in the coming months. Paris Saint-Germain chief Nasser Al-Khelaifi, who's also chairman of the Association of European Football Clubs, could be a popular choice given his friendships in the game, while the aforementioned Prince Ali has stood for FIFA President before. However, CONCACAF President Victor Montagliani is seen as the frontrunner. Montagliani has been praised for cleaning up the Confederation following allegations of corruption and financial problems, and he helped bring the World Cup to his beloved Canada. A FIFA president being liked by football fans.